Have you ever felt the weight of the world pressing down on your shoulders? Maybe it was a harsh word from someone you trusted, a failure that stung deeper than you'd like to admit, or just the quiet, suffocating voice of self-doubt whispering in the back of your mind. These moments aren't rare. They happen to all of us. Life, in all its beauty, is also full of challenges that test our resilience. But let me ask you something. What if I told you that these challenges don't have to break you? That with a shift in perspective and a few practical steps, you could emerge from life's trials stronger than ever. Let's take a moment to think about this. How often do we let external forces, other people's opinions, failures, criticism, define us? There's a common misconception that strength is something we're born with, a trait reserved for the naturally tough. But here's the truth. Resilience is a skill. It's a practice. And it's something anyone, including you, can cultivate starting today. If you've ever wondered how some people seem unshaken by life's storms, this is your answer. The solution isn't about building walls or pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about understanding yourself, embracing challenges, and taking deliberate steps to protect your inner peace. Today, I'll share the secrets to becoming unbreakable. These aren't abstract concepts, they're actionable steps rooted in timeless wisdom and practical psychology. Yes, even Stoicism itself, a philosophy that's relevant today as it was in ancient Rome. But don't just take my word for it. Stay with me until the end, and I promise you'll walk away with the tools to transform not just how you handle adversity, but how you live your life entirely. Ready to begin? Let's start with the foundation, knowing your core. 1. Define your core. Self-awareness is power. Have you ever paused in the middle of a hectic day and asked yourself, who am I really? What do I stand for? It's not a question most of us think about often. Life pulls us in a million directions, and we spend so much time doing, achieving, and reacting that we rarely stop to reflect. Yet, defining your core, understanding who you are at your deepest level, is the foundation of resilience and an unshakable life. Let's start with the story. Imagine a tree in the middle of a powerful storm. The wind is howling, the rain is relentless, and the ground is shifting. Some trees snap and fall, while others stand firm. What's the difference? It's not the size of the tree or how many branches it has, it's the roots. The stronger and deeper the roots, the more resilient the tree. You are that tree, and your core, your sense of self, is your root system. Without it, you're at the mercy of every storm that comes your way. So what does it mean to define your core? It means understanding your values, your priorities, and your purpose. It's about knowing what truly matters to you so that no matter what happens, you remain anchored. But here's the thing. Most people don't take the time to define their core. They live according to other people's expectations, chase goals that aren't truly theirs, and then wonder why they feel lost or unfulfilled. The Stoics understood this profoundly. They believed that self-awareness was the cornerstone of a virtuous and resilient life. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoics, wrote in his Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is a call to action. It's not about debating or theorizing, it's about aligning your actions with your inner truth. Think about your daily life. How much of what you do reflects your true self versus what society, your family, or your peers expect of you? Are you chasing someone else's version of success? Are you holding on to beliefs that no longer serve you? Defining your core requires you to ask these tough questions and answer them honestly. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary. Here's where the work begins. To define your core, start by identifying your values. Values are the principles that guide your decisions and give your life meaning. They're like a compass, pointing you toward what's truly important. Take some time to reflect. What do you value most in life? Is it honesty, kindness, freedom, growth, love, or something else? Write it down. Be specific. When you have clarity about your values, you create a foundation that no storm can shake. But knowing your values isn't enough, you have to live by them. This is where many people get stuck. They might value health but neglect exercise and eat poorly. They might value relationships but spend more time scrolling through social media than connecting with loved ones. To live in alignment with your values, you need to turn them into daily actions. If you value growth, what are you doing today to learn or improve? If you value connection, how are you nurturing your relationships? Alignment isn't something that happens by accident, it's intentional. Another critical aspect of defining your core is understanding your purpose. Why are you here? What impact do you want to make in the world? Your purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It can be as simple as bringing joy to others or creating a better life for your family. The key is to connect with what gives your life meaning. Purpose gives you direction, and when life gets tough, it reminds you why you keep going. Let's address the elephant in the room. Self-awareness takes work. It's not something you can achieve overnight. It requires reflection, honesty, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. But the rewards are immense. When you define your core, you gain clarity, confidence, and resilience. You stop being swayed by external opinions or circumstances because you know who you are and what you stand for. One of the most practical tools for building self-awareness is journaling. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your thoughts, feelings, and actions. What went well today? What didn't? Were your actions aligned with your values? Over time, this practice reveals patterns and helps you understand yourself on a deeper level. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation, it's about being present and aware of your thoughts and emotions. When you're mindful, you can catch yourself reacting out of habit or fear and choose a response that aligns with your core. For example, if someone criticizes you, mindfulness allows you to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than defensively. Let's talk about the role of Stoic relationships in defining your core. The people you surround yourself with influence your sense of self. Do your relationships align with your values, or do they pull you away from them? Are you in relationships that support your growth and authenticity, or do they force you to conform? Evaluating your relationships is a crucial part of self-awareness. Choose to spend time with people who inspire you and challenge you to be better. Their energy will help strengthen your core. But what about setbacks? What happens when life throws you off course? This is where your defined core becomes your anchor. When you know who you are and what you stand for, you can face challenges with clarity and confidence. You won't be easily swayed by criticism, failure, or external pressure because you're grounded in something deeper. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Mastery of self begins with self-awareness. Now let's shift the focus to you. Are you ready to start defining your core? If this resonates with you, hit that like button and comment number 1 below. Your feedback helps me know that these ideas are making an impact. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Together, we're building a community of resilient, self-aware individuals who are ready to face life's challenges with strength and purpose. As you begin this journey, remember that self-awareness is a lifelong practice. There will be times when you lose sight of your values or feel disconnected from your purpose. That's okay. The important thing is to keep coming back to your core. Each time you do, you strengthen your roots and grow more resilient. Defining your core is the first step toward becoming unbreakable. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. When you know who you are, what you value, and what you stand for, you become unstoppable. So take the time to reflect, to ask the tough questions, and to align your actions with your truth. The storms will come, but with a strong core, you'll stand tall and thrive. 2. Embrace the storm. Adversity as a teacher. Let's talk about adversity. Think about the last time you faced a serious challenge. How did you react? Did you try to avoid it, minimize it, or push through it? Most of us see adversity as an enemy, something to be feared or overcome. But here's a perspective shift for you. Adversity isn't your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. The ancient Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Take a moment to let that sink in. What if, instead of resisting the obstacles in your life, you leaned into them? What if, instead of running from discomfort, you embraced it as a chance to grow stronger? Life doesn't get easier just because you wish it would. The storms will come, whether they're unexpected job losses, painful breakups, or moments of personal failure. But here's the truth. These storms aren't meant to break you. They're meant to build you. Every trial you face is a lesson in resilience, strength, and self-discovery. Let's break this down. Why does adversity feel so overwhelming? It's because it triggers fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or loss. Fear makes us believe that challenges are insurmountable. But the Stoics teach us that fear is just a mental construct. The challenge itself isn't as overwhelming as our perception of it. The key is learning to separate what you can control from what you can't, and then focusing your energy on the former. Take relationships, for example. Relationships are a fertile ground for adversity, and Stoic relationships thrive because they're built on mutual respect and understanding, not dependency. Have you ever faced a conflict with someone you care about? Maybe it felt like the relationship was falling apart. Instead of seeing that conflict as a reason to give up, what if you saw it as an opportunity to strengthen the bond? This is where adversity becomes a teacher. It reveals what's fragile, what's worth fighting for, and what needs to change. So how do you embrace adversity instead of running from it? It starts with changing the way you talk to yourself. When challenges arise, what's your internal dialogue? Do you say, "Why is this happening to me?" Or do you ask, "What can I learn from this?" The first question positions you as a victim. The second transforms you into a student. Which one do you want to be? Imagine this scenario. You're working on a big project and it falls apart at the last minute. Your first instinct might be to blame yourself or others, to feel defeated. But pause for a moment. What if you reframe the situation? Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? This shift in mindset not only helps you move forward, but also makes you more resilient for future challenges. Now, I want you to think about your long-term goals, whether it's building a career, fostering meaningful relationships, or achieving personal growth. Adversity will play a role in every journey. Why? Because nothing worthwhile comes easy. Think about the people you admire: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. Every single one of them has faced rejection, failure, and setbacks. What sets them apart isn't talent alone. It's their ability to use adversity as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Here's a practical exercise for you. The next time you face a challenge, write it down. Describe the situation, your feelings, and your initial reaction. Then, write a list of lessons you can learn from it. Even if the situation feels overwhelming, this exercise forces you to focus on the silver lining. Over time, you'll train your brain to see opportunities for growth instead of reasons to give up. Another way to embrace adversity is by practicing gratitude. It might sound counterintuitive, but gratitude during times shifts your entire perspective. Ask yourself, what is this challenge teaching me? What strengths am I building because of this experience? Gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it helps you find meaning in it. And meaning is what gives you the strength to keep going. Let's talk about failure for a moment. Failure is one of the most feared forms of adversity, but it's also one of the most valuable. Think about it. When was the last time you truly grew as a person? Was it during a time of success, or was it during a time of struggle? Failure forces you to reevaluate, to adapt, and to try again. It's not the end of the road. It's a detour that teaches you how to navigate better. Remember the Stoic concept of negative visualization. Use it to prepare for adversity. Visualize the worst-case scenario, not to dwell on it, but to make peace with it. When you've already mentally faced your fears, they lose their power over you. This practice allows you to approach challenges with calm and clarity instead of panic. Adversity also teaches you about the importance of support. When the storms of life hit, who do you turn to? Building a strong support system is crucial. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who challenge you to be better, and who stand by you in tough times. If you find yourself in toxic relationships, don't be afraid to let them go. Stoic relationships thrive because they're grounded in mutual growth, not control. Now, let me ask you something. How do you want to be remembered? as someone who crumbled under pressure or as someone who stood tall despite the odds. The choice is yours. Life will test you, but how you respond defines your character. Don't let the fear of adversity keep you from living fully. Before we move on, I want to hear from you. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and comment number 1 below. Your engagement not only helps me create more content like this, but it also shows the world that you're ready to face life's challenges head on. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, we're building a community of people who refuse to be broken, and I want you to be part of it. Let me leave you with this. Adversity isn't here to destroy you, it's here to shape you. Every storm you weather adds to your strength, your wisdom, and your story. Embrace the storm, and you'll find that it was never about breaking you, it was about building you into the person you're meant to be. 3. Build mental armor. Practical steps to strengthen resilience. Resilience isn't just about surviving tough moments, it's about thriving despite them. In the face of life's challenges, how do you protect your mind from being overwhelmed? How do you maintain your focus, strength, and determination when everything seems to be falling apart? The answer lies in building mental armor. Imagine yourself as a warrior preparing for battle. Your mental armor isn't forged in a smithy, it's developed through intentional practices, small choices, and daily habits that fortify your inner strength. Just as physical armor protects the body, mental armor shields the mind from the arrows of doubt, fear, and negativity that life inevitably sends your way. Building mental armor begins with understanding that resilience is a skill. And like any skill, it requires practice and refinement. The ancient Stoics were masters of this art, emphasizing the importance of mental preparation, discipline, and perspective. They believed that true strength lies not in avoiding hardship, but in cultivating the inner resources to face it with courage and clarity. One of the most effective ways to build mental armor is to train your focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: social media, news, endless notifications. These distractions fragment your attention and weaken your mental fortitude. To counteract this, start small. Set aside a few minutes each day to practice focused attention. This could be as simple as sitting quietly and observing your breath, or it could involve a mindful activity like journaling or meditating. Meditation in particular is a powerful tool. It's not about emptying your mind, but about becoming aware of your thoughts and learning to guide them. Over time, meditation helps you create a space between stimulus and response. Imagine someone criticizing you harshly. Instead of reacting impulsively with anger or hurt, you pause, reflect, and choose your response. This space, the pause, is one of the greatest gifts meditation offers. It's where your power lies. Another essential component of mental armor is reframing negative thoughts. The Stoics believed that our perceptions shape our reality. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you face a setback, how do you interpret it? Do you see it as a failure or as an opportunity to grow? The way you frame your experiences determines your ability to overcome them. Let's put this into practice. Think about a recent challenge you faced. Maybe you missed a deadline at work, argued with a loved one, or failed to achieve a personal goal. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How can I grow stronger because of it? By reframing your thoughts, you transform obstacles into stepping stones. Another key to building mental armor is cultivating gratitude. At first glance, gratitude might seem like an unlikely tool for resilience. But think about this. When you're focused on what you have, instead of what you lack, your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude reminds you of your resources, your strengths, and the people who support you. It grounds you in the present moment where your true power resides. Practicing gratitude doesn't have to be complicated. Start by writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. They don't have to be monumental. A kind word from a friend, a sunny day, or a moment of laughter are all valid. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to focus on the positive, even in the midst of adversity. Stoicism also teaches us the importance of accepting what we cannot control. How much energy do we waste worrying about things beyond our influence? The weather, other people's opinions, the economy, these are all outside your control. But what you can control is your attitude, your choices, and your actions. By focusing on what's within your power, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. This brings us to one of the most practical tools for resilience: setting boundaries. Your mental energy is a finite resource, and not everyone or everything deserves a piece of it. Do you often find yourself saying yes when you want to say no? Do you allow toxic people or situations to drain your strength? Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary for your well-being. When you protect your time and energy, you create space for what truly matters. Building mental armor also involves celebrating small victories. Resilience isn't about achieving perfection, it's about progress. Each time you face a challenge and come out stronger, take a moment to acknowledge your growth. Maybe you handled a tough conversation with grace, or you pushed through a workout when you felt like giving up. These small wins add up, reinforcing your confidence and resilience over time. A crucial element of resilience is understanding that setbacks are part of the journey. No one succeeds without failing along the way. The key is to view failure not as a reflection of your worth but as feedback. What worked? What didn't? What can you do differently next time? This mindset turns failure into a powerful teacher. Let's revisit the concept of Stoic relationships, which are rooted in mutual respect and emotional balance. The people you surround yourself with play a significant role in your mental resilience. Do your relationships lift you up or drag you down? Are they based on trust and support, or are they filled with conflict and negativity? Take inventory of your relationships and make adjustments as needed. Remember, it's better to have a few strong, supportive connections than a multitude of shallow or toxic ones. Finally, let's address the importance of self-compassion. Too often, we're our harshest critics. We berate ourselves for mistakes, dwell on our shortcomings, and set impossibly high standards. But resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about being kind to yourself. When you treat yourself with the same compassion you'd offer a friend, you create an environment where growth and healing can flourish. So how do you build this mental armor? Start small. Choose one or two practices from this discussion and incorporate them into your daily routine. Maybe you'll start with 5 minutes of meditation or a gratitude journal. Maybe you'll set a boundary with someone who drains your energy. Whatever you choose, remember that resilience is a journey, not a destination. Each step you take strengthens your mental armor and prepares you for life's challenges. As we wrap up this section, let's reflect on the essence of resilience. It's not about avoiding adversity or pretending everything is fine. It's about facing life's challenges with courage, learning from them, and emerging stronger on the other side. It's about building mental armor that protects your mind and allows your true self to shine. Life will test you. That's inevitable. But with the right mindset and tools, you can face any challenge with strength and grace. Your mental armor isn't something you're born with. It's something you build one choice at a time. So what will your next choice be? 4. Surround yourself with the right energy, the power of your circle. Take a moment to consider the people you spend the most time with. Who are they? What kind of energy do they bring into your life? Are they uplifting, inspiring, and supportive? Or do they drain your energy, fuel your doubts, or even actively discourage your dreams? These questions matter more than you might think, because the people you surround yourself with play a profound role in shaping who you are. Human beings are social creatures. We are deeply influenced by the company we keep. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. That's a simple statement, but it holds immense power. If you want to build resilience and become unbreakable, you must be intentional about your relationships. The energy of those around you either strengthens your inner resolve or chips away at it. Think about it. Have you ever spent time with someone who seemed to radiate negativity? Maybe they constantly complained, belittled others, or criticized your ambitions. How did that make you feel? Chances are, their negativity started to seep into your thoughts, making it harder for you to stay focused, motivated, or confident. Now flip the script. Imagine spending time with someone who believes in you, encourages you, and challenges you to grow. How does that feel? Energizing? Empowering? This contrast highlights why your inner circle is so important. Here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. This doesn't mean you need to cut people out of your life without a second thought, but it does mean you need to evaluate your relationships carefully. Who lifts you up? Who drags you down? Who helps you grow and who keeps you stuck? These are difficult questions, but answering them honestly is essential if you want to thrive. Surrounding yourself with the right energy isn't just about removing negativity, it's also about actively seeking out positive influences. Look for people who embody the qualities you admire: courage, kindness, resilience, humility. These are the kinds of individuals who will inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Their energy is contagious, and their example can motivate you to keep moving forward even when the path gets tough. But what about relationships that you can't easily change? Maybe you have a negative family member or a coworker who always seems to criticize you. In these situations, boundaries become your best tool. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They allow you to protect your mental and emotional energy while still maintaining necessary connections. For example, you might choose to limit the time you spend with certain individuals or steer conversations away from topics that trigger conflict. By setting boundaries, you take control of your interactions instead of letting them control you. While it's important to guard against negativity, it's equally crucial to cultivate relationships that align with your values. These are what I like to call Stoic relationships. They're built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared commitment to growth. In a Stoic relationship, both individuals encourage each other to face challenges with courage and wisdom. They celebrate each other's successes and offer support during setbacks. These relationships are rare but invaluable, and they require effort and intention to nurture. One way to build Stoic relationships is through vulnerability. Many people mistake vulnerability for weakness, but it's actually a sign of strength. When you're honest about your struggles, fears, and goals, you invite others to do the same. This creates a foundation of trust and authenticity that can withstand life's challenges. Of course, vulnerability must be balanced with discernment. You don't need to share your deepest feelings with everyone, but opening up to the right people can deepen your connections and strengthen your support network. Another key to surrounding yourself with the right energy is reciprocity. Healthy relationships are a two-way street. If you want people to support and uplift you, you must be willing to do the same for them. Ask yourself, how do I show up for the people in my life? Am I a source of encouragement, or do I sometimes let my own frustrations spill over into my interactions? Taking responsibility for your own energy is just as important as choosing the energy you allow into your life. Now, let's address a common misconception. Building a strong support system doesn't mean avoiding conflict. In fact, some of the most meaningful relationships involve constructive disagreements. The key is to approach conflict with respect and a willingness to listen. This is where Stoicism comes into play. The Stoics taught that we should focus on understanding rather than winning an argument. When you approach conflict with an open mind, it becomes an opportunity for growth rather than a source of division. But what about those moments when someone's negativity or toxicity becomes too much to handle? It's okay to let go. Not every relationship is meant to last forever, and sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and the other person is to create distance. This doesn't mean you harbor resentment or bitterness. It simply means you recognize that the relationship is no longer serving either of you. Letting go of toxic relationships can be painful, but it's also liberating. It creates space for new connections, ones that align with your values and support your growth. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to rise, surround yourself with people who elevate you. As you reflect on your relationships, take a moment to consider the influence of digital connections. In today's world, we often spend as much time interacting with people online as we do in person. Social media, while a powerful tool for connection, can also be a source of negativity and comparison. Be mindful of the energy you consume online. Are you following accounts that inspire you or ones that make you feel inadequate? Curating your digital environment is just as important as curating your real-world relationships. Let's not forget the importance of self-connection. While surrounding yourself with the right energy involves other people, it also starts with the relationship you have with yourself. Do you speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement, or do you criticize and doubt yourself? Building a strong support system means becoming your own ally. After all, you spend more time with yourself than with anyone else. Make sure that inner dialogue is one of support and resilience. So how do you begin surrounding yourself with the right energy? Start by evaluating your relationships. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? What kind of energy do they bring into your life? Next, set boundaries where needed and invest in relationships that align with your values. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that inspire you. And don't forget to nurture the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. If this message resonates with you, let me know by hitting that like button and commenting number 1 below. Your feedback helps me continue to create content that empowers and uplifts. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Together, we're building a community of people who refuse to be broken, who face life's challenges with courage and resilience. I'd love for you to be part of it. As we move forward, remember this: the energy you allow into your life shapes your reality. Choose wisely, and you'll find yourself surrounded by strength, positivity, and support. You don't have to face life's challenges alone. When you surround yourself with the right energy, you build a foundation that makes you unbreakable. 5. Shift the perspective. Reframe failure and criticism. Failure and criticism are 2 of life's harshest teachers. They sting, they challenge our self-esteem, and they can leave us questioning our worth. Yet, what if these experiences weren't meant to harm us but to guide us? What if failure wasn't an ending but a lesson? What if criticism wasn't an attack but a mirror reflecting areas where we can grow? The truth is, the way you perceive failure and criticism determines whether they break you or build you. Let's start with failure. It's a word that carries heavy emotional weight, doesn't it? Society often equates failure with defeat, as if failing means you're not good enough. But here's a powerful truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Every person who has achieved greatness has faced failure. Michael Jordan famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. And that is why I succeed." Each missed shot taught him something. Each failure was a stepping stone. Think about your own life. Can you recall a moment when you failed? Maybe it was a missed opportunity, a job you didn't get, or a relationship that ended. How did you react? Did you see it as proof that you weren't capable, or did you use it as a chance to reflect and improve? Your response to failure says more about your character than the failure itself. It's not about falling, it's about how you rise. Failure, when reframed, becomes data. It's feedback from the world, showing you what doesn't work so you can get closer to what does. The Stoics believed that we should welcome setbacks as part of life's natural order. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." In other words, failure isn't a dead end, it's a pivot point. When you adopt this mindset, failure loses its power to define you negatively. Criticism operates similarly. It's another form of feedback, but it often feels more personal. Hearing someone criticize your work, your choices, or even your character can feel like an attack. But here's a question. Is criticism inherently bad, or is it our interpretation that gives it weight? The Stoics taught us to separate the action from our perception of it. Criticism is just words, neutral in nature. It's our emotional reaction that colors it as good or bad. Let's break this down further. When someone criticizes you, there are usually 2 possibilities. The first is that the criticism has merit. Maybe there's truth in it, and it highlights an area where you can improve. In this case, criticism becomes a gift, a tool for growth. The second possibility is that the criticism is unwarranted, a reflection of the other person's insecurities or biases. In this case, it's not about you at all. Recognizing the difference is crucial. So how do you handle criticism without letting it break you? Start by pausing before reacting. When we're criticized, our natural instinct is to defend ourselves, to push back, or to internalize the words as truth. But what if instead you paused and asked, is this true? Is there something I can learn here? This moment of reflection allows you to approach criticism with curiosity rather than defensiveness. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you're criticized, write it down. Then, analyze it objectively. Ask yourself what part of this is valid, what part is not. If the criticism is valid, use it as a tool for improvement. If it's not, let it go. Imagine it as a leaf floating down a river. It passes by but doesn't stick. Failure and criticism also teach us resilience. Each time you face a setback or hear a harsh word and choose to rise above it, you strengthen your ability to endure. Resilience isn't built in moments of comfort, it's forged in the fire of adversity. Think of it like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. But let's be honest, reframing failure and criticism isn't easy. It takes practice and intentionality. One of the most effective ways to develop this skill is by adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. When you view challenges as opportunities rather than threats, you open yourself up to growth. Another tool for shifting your perspective is gratitude. At first, it might seem strange to feel grateful for failure or criticism, but consider this. Every setback you faced has brought you to this moment. Each one has taught you something, shaped your character, and prepared you for future success. Gratitude allows you to see the value in even the most difficult experiences. Let's also talk about the role of self-compassion. When you fail or face criticism, it's easy to be hard on yourself. You might think, I should have done better, or I'm not good enough. But this kind of self-talk only deepens the wound. Instead, practice speaking to yourself with kindness. Treat yourself the way you would treat a close friend who's struggling. Remind yourself that everyone fails and that every failure is a step toward growth. The Stoics had a profound way of looking at life's challenges. They believed that we should welcome difficulties because they reveal our true strength. Epictetus said, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Failure and criticism are like mirrors. They reflect who you are and who you're becoming. They challenge you to rise above, to grow, and to persevere. Now, let me ask you something. What would happen if you stopped fearing failure and criticism? What if, instead of avoiding them, you embraced them as essential parts of your journey? How much more could you achieve? How much freer would you feel? The answer lies in shifting your perspective. It's not about what happens to you. It's about how you interpret and respond to it. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that you're not alone on this journey. Everyone faces setbacks. Everyone hears criticism, but not everyone chooses to use these experiences as opportunities for growth. You have that choice. You can decide right now to view failure and criticism not as obstacles but as stepping stones. And when you do, you'll find that nothing, not failure, not criticism, not even life's toughest challenges can break you. If this message resonates with you, hit that like button and comment number 1 below. Let me know how you've reframed failure or criticism in your own life. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Together, we're creating a community of resilient, empowered individuals who see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Remember, failure and criticism are not the end of your story, they're chapters in the book of your growth. Embrace them, learn from them, and let them shape you into the person you're meant to be. Resilience is not about being immune to life's challenges, it's about deciding every single day that you will not let those challenges define or defeat you. Each of the steps we've discussed, defining your core, embracing adversity, building mental armor, surrounding yourself with the right energy, and reframing failure and criticism, offers a piece of the puzzle that helps you stand unshaken in the face of life's storms. But what ties it all together is choice. The choice to show up, to grow, and to persevere. When you define your core, you root yourself in your values, gaining clarity and purpose that serve as your guide. This self-awareness empowers you to remain steady, even when others try to sway you. Embracing adversity allows you to see challenges not as barriers but as stepping stones for growth. Building mental armor equips you with the tools to withstand negativity and doubt, while surrounding yourself with the right energy ensures that your journey is supported by those who uplift you. And finally, shifting your perspective on failure and criticism transforms what could break you into what builds you. Together, these practices form a roadmap to becoming unbreakable. But the journey doesn't end here. Life will continue to test you, and there will be moments when the weight feels heavy. In those moments, remind yourself of this. Resilience is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you choose to stand up, even if you stumble, you are practicing resilience. Every time you face adversity with courage and curiosity, you grow stronger. So what's next? How will you take these lessons and apply them to your own life? What small changes can you make today to define your core more clearly, to embrace adversity more openly, or to surround yourself with more uplifting energy? Resilience is built through action, one intentional choice at a time. If this message resonated with you, I want to hear your thoughts. Hit that like button and comment number 1 below to let me know that you're ready to take control of your life and build the strength to thrive, no matter what comes your way. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel to join a community of like-minded individuals who are committed to growing stronger together. Your support doesn't just help this channel, it creates a ripple effect. Each time you like, comment, or subscribe, you're contributing to a larger conversation about resilience, personal growth, and the power of the human spirit. Let's spread these ideas far and wide and help others discover their own strength. As you move forward, keep this in mind. Resilience is not something you're born with, it's something you cultivate. It's not about avoiding life's storms, but learning how to dance in the rain. Each challenge you face, each setback you endure, and each criticism you overcome adds to your strength. You are more powerful than you realize, and your potential is limitless. Thank you for being here, for investing in your growth, and for taking this journey with me. I'm proud of you for choosing to build a life of purpose, strength, and resilience. The world needs more people like you, people who refuse to be broken, who see challenges as opportunities, and who inspire others by the way they live. I'll leave you with this thought. Life will test you, but you are the author of your own story. How will you write the next chapter? Choose courage, choose growth, choose to be unbreakable. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong, stay focused, and remember, you've got this.